So,
Awesome.
Joey, what do you consider a logical process? Um, you know what? Scrap that question. You've already answered it.
I jumped
I
ahead a
have a
lot,
list
my
of
friend.
questions just so I don't
I
have
just
to
keep rolling on, man.
try to
I'm
think.
screwing up your whole thing.
Yeah, yeah. What do you see as some of the biggest mistakes or misconceptions people have when it comes to getting into real estate investing?
Okay. Mistakes, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to go with the misconceptions because
Okay.
I deal a lot with that. And a lot of the misconceptions are that um, people are again thinking that they could go from 0 to 12 or 0 to 15 in a year or something like that. They can buy a property a month. No, there's nothing wrong. There are ways of doing that. There are people who do it, but I think the reality is that when you're getting into real estate, you're not going to be this guy who's going to buy 12 properties and quit your job in a year,
No.
right? That's the misconception that everybody sold, and it because I know, like I ask people, what do they want, and they'll tell me that, and I'll say, well, great, how many properties do you have? And they'll say nothing. I'm just getting started, or it's so it. You got to kind of bring them back into reality. Say, no,
Yeah.
that's cool, like, there are people that you probably saw on stage who did that, but that's not the norm, right?
No.
It's like, you and I in a business where we have a really good month and then we'll say, well, hey, let's average our whole income on that one month. That's not realistic.
No. It's way too many ups and downs.
Yeah. So the misconception is that I can do this overnight or in the next 12 months. I think that we overestimate what we can do in a year. Like
Yeah.
we truly do. And we're all the same. I'm not pointing any fingers. And we underestimate what we can do in 3 years. And I
Very
think that
true.
we don't want those 3 years. Like we're not willing to wait those 3 years to get whatever it is we want. And that keeps us in analysis paralysis because we want that 1 year thing.
That's right. We'll do. We're always looking at today. We're not, you know, taking action or doing things, looking 3 years ahead. We're just trying to get today. We want. We live in an immediate gratification society. Everybody wants everything yesterday. They don't
Yeah.
want to put in the work and take the time to do it right and reap the benefits in 3 to 5 years. They want to reap the benefits tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
But they're not doing anything about it, right? So
no,
then that's where, like in the book, I talk about the reset button, the 5 year reset. And I don't know if you remember that piece of it, but the 5 year reset, I figured that out after listening again to people telling me what their plans were, right? And the 5 year reset is basically they've got a 5 year plan because a lot of the real estate courses and stuff will teach you that. And there's nothing wrong with having a 5 year plan.
no,
But, you'll ask me today what my 5 year plan is, and I'll tell you. And then I'll meet you next year again, and I'll say, yeah, my 5 year plan is this. I want to buy 10 properties. And you'll say, great, how many do you got now? And I'll say, well, none. And so I've wasted a whole year
yeah,
of not doing anything, or I'm researching, and that's cool, right? I'm not blaming anybody. If that's you, that's cool. But don't tell me that it's still your 5 year plan.
no.
Now it's your 4 year plan.
Yeah.
Okay?
So either
So
your 4 year plan is now, well, if it's still 10, it's still 10. I guess you better do a lot of work to to make up for that 1 year of lost
yeah,
time.
even if it's not really lost time, it's research time and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I just want to have the mindset of, well, here's my 5 year plan. No, it's not. Like, because I've met people who have told me the same thing over and over again 3-4 years in, and we're now in the fourth year, and I'll say, so what's your plan? And they say, well, my 5 year plan is, and I'll go, hold on a second, you told me that 3 years ago. It's not your 5 year plan anymore.
Yeah.
And again, I want to really forward this with, well, it's okay that if you do get to the end of your 5 year plan and you didn't buy 10 properties, but you've been doing stuff, it's okay. It's cool. Like, it's just understand that whatever you did, whatever those choices you made, got you to where you were. Now you've got to do a new 5 year plan at that point. You can't keep pushing the reset button.
Yeah.
Yesterday's gone, guys. It's gone. You can't keep resetting.
No. And so I know we touched on this a little bit already, and I mentioned in the intro that we were going to discuss this, and I know this is a hot topic for both of us. So
Okay.
what are your thoughts on the real estate investing seminar industry? Not being specific on any one
Oh,
brand,
man.
any one company, just the industry as a whole.
Yeah, we talked a little bit already about what it is that I think it's just it's an industry that is selling people on dreams, and it's not in my view, it's an industry that is making a lot of money off of other people's dreams.
Yeah.
It's not the only industry out there. There's a lot of
others
them
doing
out
it
there,
too.
right? There's a lot of them that do this, but it's like get somebody on stage who will tell you what you want to hear, so they'll reach into your pocket and take all the money from you and not really give a shit about whatever happens to you at all. They're just there to make as much money as they can at that point. And so that's the way the industry is. I've seen it. I've witnessed people who've told me that. I've witnessed people, who've, like I said, who've lost their entire life savings, they have nothing left, nothing, and no remorse whatsoever, no moral standards from the person who stole it from them, because let's be real, that's stealing.
Mm-hmm.
And I just can't fathom that. I can't understand how people could get up there and do that.
Yeah, and it's not just in this industry either. There's it happens in a lot of different industries, and
anything that's get rich quick.
Yeah, and real estate investing is known for that get rich quick thing, but there's also a lot of, in the internet marketing space now, is a lot of it is that get rich quick stuff.
So we're both in that new space now too, and I'm entering that, and I do a lot of coaching in that space as well. And on my entry page, or coming into any of my webinars or teachings and all that, I specifically say, if you're a biz op person, or you're looking for get rich quick
Mm-hmm.
stuff, like don't even come to this training. I don't want to deal with you.
No.
Because there's nothing. I just don't want to deal with that mentality, because again, you have to work. If you want to build an online business and make $1 million selling products and stuff, you got to work your ass off.
Oh yeah. So I mentioned to you, I'm headed down next month. I'm headed down to speak at Go Live and Profit event by Mike Koenigs, which is all about live streaming and Facebook Live. And I'm working on crafting my talk. And so what my talk is actually going to be about is the biggest misconception, or what people are being told or shown or sold on this new strategy is, use Facebook Live and make like 4, 5, 6 figures a month.
Right.
Which is really not the reality. I mean, there are people doing that, but those are people that have a huge following. They've already built up a huge brand name. They are the authority in their marketplace. But the average person going to these events is not going to generate overnight 4, 5, 6 figures a month.
That's right.
And so my talk is going to be geared towards those people, to make them realize that, that's not going to happen. It's just not going to work.
That's what people, I think, need to hear. And again, you talked about repelling other people, and those are the people in the room that are going to go, no, this guy's full of shit. I want to talk to the other dude who's promising me that I'm going to make $1 million tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So I want to deal with the people like you talked about, the people that are coming to my seminars, who are willing to spend a weekend with me learning the real stuff, because I'm showing them inside my business. I'm showing them Infusionsoft. I'm showing them, here's the sales that I've made. Here's the reality of how many actual leads I'm getting in and how many are opting out and blah, blah, blah. Like all that stuff. That's really true. Yeah. Here's I bought all these programs, and here's kind of what works and what doesn't work. I don't care what people are telling you, and I'm willing to work for it. I'm willing to build my business this way. So I honor you for that, John.
Yeah, I'm going to walk them through a process of how they can bridge that gap, because that is my process, the Authority Acceleration Program, right? How can you accelerate your authority so that you can eventually be like those people? But it's not going to happen tomorrow. We're at an event where a lot of them are going to be told that they can go out and just start doing Facebook Live shows, and they'll start making money like the next day, which is not going to happen. So
no.
If you want to build your brand, build your reputation, build your authority, do these things that I'm going to lay out for you, and then you will be able to make that 4 or 5 figures a month eventually, over time, being consistent, persistent, putting in the time and the effort. But it's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah, and that relates right back to what we're talking about here in real estate, in talking to people about money, right? So, because a lot of investors will go to people and they'll give their presentation that they were taught and all this other kind of stuff, and the people will say, no, I'm not interested, and then they'll move on to other people. Well, that's the wrong strategy to do. Yeah, move on to other people, but that person at that time was not interested yet. They're like a moving parade. They're the same people. Just speak to them differently, give them new information, give them value. Don't just be that salesperson. It's a persistence over time, and I'm not talking about persistence of going, hey, do you want to buy a real estate investment? It's more about the stuff that they're interested in. And if you align with what I'm talking about at the beginning, where you can just talk about stuff that they relate to, like life, or that you like snowmobiling and they like snowmobiling, and it's awesome, and you just went snowmobiling during the day and they were at work, like that's the kind of stuff they're relating to. And if you're talking to them, just sending them a simple email or something that has nothing to do with real estate eventually becomes about real estate. And that's how I get my JVs, because it has nothing to do with real estate. It's about life.
Yeah, and they're connecting with you as a person, and they get to know you, like you, and trust you. And that's really what it boils down to. People do business with people. They don't do business with brands. They don't do business with big companies. I mean, they're just typically, I mean, for the really big brands, yeah, they're going to buy Nike over New Balance or whatever. But it's really about the people that they resonate with behind the brand, behind the company that, works at that Starbucks or the Tim Hortons or whatever. A lot of times it's those connections that they make, because one bad experience, they'll stop going to that particular outlet and then start going somewhere else, right? Maybe they'll leave Tim Hortons and start going to Starbucks because the barista there treats them better.
Right. And I think that's what it comes down to in terms of loyalty and repeat customers. And you just talked a little bit about that. A loyalty customer is somebody who is going to listen to you and give you a break when you do make a mistake, or you do something that was not the best price over here. But if you have a repeat customer, like a Walmart type of customer, the repeating customers, those are customers that you have to continuously give them good prices and discounts and all that kind of stuff. They'll keep buying from you, but you have to always be on top of stuff. I want to deal with loyalty customers where I don't have to always give you the best price. I'm just giving you really good value. And sometimes I'm going to screw up, and you're going to give me a break, right? And that's the way I was taught from my dad's company, and that's how he built that, with loyalty customers. Not about repeat customers. Yeah,
I'm actually going through the exact same thing. When I was doing some live casting for one of my private clients, things did not work out in the 2 sessions we did. I made some mistakes. It wasn't to the quality that she wants to represent her brand, and I feel horrible about it. And I'm like trying to do whatever I can to make it up to her by offering a lot more services, by just trying to fix the situation, because I understand everybody makes mistakes, and I understand that same situation, right? It's like, what can I do to make it up to you, or how can I make things better? Because I want you to have that quality of service. So if that means I'm going to give you more services or do more things to help you out, then I'm going to do that, because that's the type of business I want to run for myself. That's the reputation I want to have. Is, I might screw something up, but I'm damn sure going to stand up for my product or my service, and I'm going to fix it, and I'm going to go over and above what the normal person would do. For sure. And that's the way it is in real estate. Everything that you do in your real estate business, especially with your joint ventures, is over and above what anybody else will do. And I talk a lot about guarantees in my real estate, and that's like a no word. You can't guarantee shit in your real estate. No. Well, I can guarantee to my joint venture partner what I'm going to do for them. That's right. In terms of, I'm not talking about you're going to make $1 million. Yeah. I'm not talking about returns. I'm talking about convenience. I'm talking about, don't even worry if you don't have the money for a cash call, because I've got a line of credit sitting over here, and I'm going to take care of that worry for you. We're not going to lose the property. No, the tenants, if it trashes, we've got it taken care of. So I'm guaranteeing them peace of mind. I can guarantee them all kinds of stuff, and I go over and above what a lot of investors won't do. And I'm just by having money sitting in a line of credit that I'm not doing anything with, just so I can have it to keep the peace of mind of my joint venture partners, that what if I don't have the $10,000 to come up with? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like little things like that, John, is where I've just gone ahead and looked at what are the problems that they're going to come up with, the blocks that are going to come up with when they're actually looking at
the real investment. Okay, let's talk about logistics now, right?
Yeah, you're overcoming those obstacles before they even become an obstacle.
Yeah.
Definitely. And Pierre-Paul Turgeon says, good reality check for current and wannabe real estate investors. No overnight get-rich-quick scheme or successes. The same applies to investing in apartment buildings. So yeah, it's a reality check. There is no get-rich-quick scheme. It all takes work. People make it appear, or they appear out of nowhere that they're successful, but people don't see what it's taken them to get to that point in time.
Exactly, and like, Pierre's the real deal. Like, Pierre as well. Yeah. Like, so he knows his shit. And when people are asking me about apartments, I'm gonna totally give them to Pierre, because he goes through it every day. He's gone through the system. Like, for me, it makes no sense for me to go through the trenches by myself and figure all this stuff out just because a coach is gonna cost me money. I would rather pay somebody to go through their stuff and not do the same mistakes that they did. I'm talking about real coaches. These are not people. Anybody that I recommend and John recommends are people that we know personally, that we've been through their stuff. Yeah. And we're not trying to line our pockets with anything, and neither are these guys. So it's important that if you trust me or John or whoever it is in your life, and they give you if they give you a referral, take that advice and go and pay somebody to help you with their business. And I remember when we first joined, Greg's program many years ago, that was a hard decision for me to put down a lot of money to go and ask somebody for help. It was a lot of money, but it was the best decision I ever made. I wouldn't be sitting here with you right now if I did not do that decision to help myself, and I will never stop doing that.
No, you'll always reinvest in yourself, as will I. We'll always keep moving forward and reaching out to people who are where we want to be, and we'll learn from their mistakes and try to get that shortcut, because that's what a coach is there for, to try to help them get to where they want to be and compressing that time. Yeah. But Joey, that's all the time. We're actually over for today, but that's all the time we have for today. I would personally thank you again for being on the show. I know that we're going to be on Thursday. It's the Joey Ragona week. We're going to be on Thursday. Hot seat coaching. I don't have any guests lined up to coach, but we'll try to do a lot of Q&A on coaching. Thanks again, Joey, and I look forward to catching up with you again on Thursday.
Yeah, thanks, John. Thanks, everybody, for watching. It was awesome. I always love these shows, and thank you for giving me the platform to get my message out, John. I really appreciate it.
No worries. And you guys just stick around. I'll be back with closing remarks. Now, thanks for joining me on today's John A. McCabe Show, where we work with entrepreneurs, business owners, authors, experts, and speakers get seen, get heard, get noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device. Now, also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. Now, if you're someone who's looking to take your business to the next level and want to get some coaching advice, why not apply to be a guest on today's show? Now, for most entrepreneurs, we want to create a life of our own, create our own path, and do what we can to reach our own desired outcome, which is generally freedom. Freedom to choose what we want to do, when we want to do it, and with whom we want to do it. A life that's full of options and choices, where we worry less about money and more about the quality of time that we spend with others. Now, a great way to make that happen is to leverage other people's knowledge, time, and skill sets. Step one to reaching our freedom life is to realize that you can't do it alone. Working with a coach or being involved in masterminds is a great way for entrepreneurs to move their business forward. Now, a coach can help you shorten the time frame to get you from where you are to where you want to be, while being part of a mastermind is meant to bring entrepreneurs together, all with the goal of helping each other move forward with their business. Now, the second step to creating the life you envision for yourself as an entrepreneur is to implement systems into your business so you can streamline your operations, leverage systems, and free up your time to focus on your family, having fun, and the highest leverage activities in your business. You know, the activities that get you the biggest return on your time invested, the ones that truly make you money. Now, sometimes we just don't know what systems we need, how to implement those systems, or even have the time to find out what is needed. Now, working with a coach or consultant that understands, uses, and specializes in systems that can streamline your operations can help save you time, aggravation, and make you a lot more money. Now, for example, having a system or strategy that allows you to leverage just 15 hours of your time into enough repurposed content to get you seen, get you heard, get you noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device is a great example of leverage. Now just imagine a system where you invest just 15 hours of your time and the end result is you're a #1 best-selling author. You have enough content that's going to get you seen, get you heard, get you noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device. You have a successful podcast. Now it's automatically attracting more attention, giving more value, and generating more leads, which enables you to attract an abundance of paying customers. Now this is also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. Now to find out more about the Authority Acceleration Blueprint coaching program or mastermind, then contact me via my website at johnamccabe.com or connect with me through my show's Facebook page. Now again, thank you for joining us on today's show, and I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's show when I have another great guest on discussing their business and accelerating their authority. So have yourself an amazing day, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon.